Yeah.
So this chapter finalizes understanding of all the other chapters. Meaning now you are prepared to experience the saguna and nirguna and sadhana and all that. That is what this whole chapter is all about. And then he explains the 40 qualities for a bhakta. When that happens, the person is definitely, two things are going to happen. Either he will be realized or he will get liberated.
You are talking about which chapter, Vilas?
12th.
12th. Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. So we completed 11, ended with Bhakti.
Yes,
What
yes.
is Bhakti?
Yeah.
So he starts with the 12th one, which will talk about what is Saguna, what is Nirguna, what are the approaches in sadhana, that is between Saguna and Nirguna, and looking at the sadhana itself, how a person should do the sadhana. Then he comes to 40 qualities of a bhakta, and that ends the 12th chapter. So what happens is that 1 to 6, or rather first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 chapters looked at Tvam. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 looked at Tat, and now we have started a journey into Asi.
This is what? Asi related?
Yes,
journey?
we are starting with Asi. So 13th chapter makes Asi complete. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 6 chapters.
Oh, last 6 chapter is Asi.
Asi. Tvam Tat Asi. So it is actually Tat Tvam Asi. But in Bhagavad Gita, he starts with Tvam, not Tat. You. So first to 7, actually if you take, will become Tvam. Then 8 to 13. So you have to leave one chapter. So what happens is 2 to 6 or 2 to 7, 8 to 13 becomes Tat. Tat. And the remaining becomes Asi. So this chapter hands over to Asi, meaning liberation. So 12th chapter is the most important chapter in the entire Bhagavad Gita. So let's start with that.
Good morning. Sorry, I couldn't. Meaning, I was seeing it, but I couldn't join earlier.
No worries, Padma Shri. There are 2 things.
Morning, Padma Shri.
There are 2 things which have happened for you, Padma Shri. One is that Bhatt had a wonderful dream of yours. So he is going to share that right now before we enter into 12th chapter.
Okay.
And secondly, on Friday, we shared each other's experience of 2.5 years. So that is pending from your side. So we'll start with that. And then we will continue on 12th chapter. So now Bhatt will enumerate his experience of you showing him a new home.
It's like this, Bashri. Last night I got completely about like a movie, maybe 1 hour dream about you. Okay. The thing is, you building a huge house. It was under construction, and I have seen construction till it is finished also. Such a huge this one, and it's a palatial house, like Vedanta, I can say. Such a huge house, very big rooms, very big rooms. I was thinking about your meditation. I said, such a big room for meditation, why it is needed? I had some discussions with you. So you did not like me proposing the question, why such a big one? Then I thought, as per spirituality, I'm not supposed to discuss with you. Whatever you are happy, you will do the meditation, wherever it is. Then I thought it is my mistake of argument. So, and your husband was also there along with you to, explain. He was enjoying our discussions also. And I am very sure it's a place. It's a very big place. I was thinking it's Bangalore, but it may not be Bangalore also. It may be in the different planet altogether. Yeah.
Wow.
and morning when I woke up, it was heavy in me because of that dream. Because it took some time for me to come back to natural this planet. So. And you have taken me to the big veranda, and it's like a 4 square building, the big one house, the old style building, a middle garden and all that. Then this corner and that corner, like a reception, big rooms there. It's a palatial. I'm sure it is like a so reality it came to my mind throughout. And this dream happened probably somewhere between 3 to 4 or something like that. 4:30.
So, Papashi, when are you going to build this palatial home?
No, Lata. Maybe it was years back. If such a dream had come, maybe I can even, now I don't have such kind of wishes. It is what thinks about me, not about presently it is not what I think about myself.
No, I have not thought. It has come on its own.
No, I know. But these are your thoughts, right? Your dreams, correct?
Yeah.
So somewhere it must have been in your mind that I might do such a thing or something like that. I do not know. I can't explain all the dreams, but.
So, question to will ask, Karya to Karana, right? So, without any Karana, how this has happened in my mind is the question. You have to respond through spirituality. Because I had no idea about Padma Singh constructing a house or even thinking anywhere. I was only connected here in the spirituality discussions and all that. Then how this kind of things can happen?
But one thing is true, but I was very... Sorry.
I think I lost you. I'm not able to hear you. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, I have always been very much interested in doing many interior decorations, many planning. Even today, when I want to get something, I will always draw the whole thing for a carpenter, everything I do myself. So I was always interested in that kind of an activity. So from my deep sense, what you dreamt about me is not very far away from the fact that I was associated to so much drawing, designing, a big place. But it's not that I want to live or anything like that, but I like to do those kinds of things. It is like more like a creative thing for me. Because at one point in time, as I always tell, I had many options after my second PhD. One of them was doing architecture. So I have, and to tell the truth, if I took
Satirajam devam vishwaksham vishvajambhuvam vishvannarajanam deva vakshasam padamam padam vishvatah paraman.
Sorry. I pressed the wrong button and it started iTunes.
I have chanted that today.
I don't know. Sorry, Padma Singh. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, I'll take only 5 minutes.
No, you take. It's okay. No worries.
The first house we built after I came back from Sweden. And in Sweden, whatever I had seen as something is unique, I brought that into this one. And that house was a house we built on we purchased the plot and we built by ourselves. So I had an architect, but then a lot of ideas I used to give, and then we used to get that whole thing done. And we stayed in that house for about 4-5 years. And after that, because of my son's reason, we wanted to stay in some place which was close to my parents' house. We bought a flat. When we bought a flat also, the interiors we did design quite well. Even today, many people talk about the interiors there. It's a small flat, but then the interiors was done by us there. Now we came into this villa after about, there we stayed 8 years, and then we purchased this villa. And then here also we have done a lot of interior. After I purchased, we have made a lot of changes to that. Meaning as soon as we purchased, we made it. This was 8 years back. So for me, this has always been. Then after that time itself, I just thought from now on, this is enough. If I'm wanting to help somebody in designing, I can help. By myself, I will not go in for investment. So in general, my mind is, I feel like creating something or the other. So from that perspective, I have always been interested in that. So when you tell me this one, if it was 2-3 years back, I would have thought, oh, you have sown a seed in my mind, and maybe I will look at something like that. But no, now there is no seed that I can. There is no seed that I can allow for growth in my mind about possessing anything more. So maybe you're not too far away from reality from the perspective that palatial house, that kind of a plan that you're talking about, and I going around and showing you all these places may not be very far from reality, though you don't know that aspect of mine.
Okay, very good.
Now I leave it to Vilas to describe what this whole
Yeah,
thing
how
is.
it is projected, so that, I got that signal, and it is visualization and all that. Maybe Vilas, you can explain without any connection.
No, there is a connection. Okay, so karya karana, cause and effect. So there are two causes. First cause is that we are connected. Second cause is that there is, if by chance the consciousness were to not connect it as an individual, but overall, at that time what happens is that you lose yourself, and somebody that is within the group, whoever you are closely related, will manifest. Maybe some time ago you would have had interest of how Padma Shri does certain things. You would have seen, or you would have appreciated, or done something, or you are aware of the fact that she has some poems. Okay, maybe not consciously, but some unconsciously you would have noticed or known or whatever. And that being the case, this manifestation can happen. Now, what happens in your dream, whatever you are talking about, is that at that time an individual consciousness no longer exists, and it can penetrate through somebody's thought process and bring it to you as a complete dream experience. That is quite possible, because you become the screen then, and somebody is projecting the movie on that screen, and you are able to watch yourself as well as the screen.
Mm.
So it becomes a vivid dream about that person. And good thing is that once you are awakened from the dream, you will not forget the dream at all.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so that will happen. So let's say today I sleep with having, there are two ways I can do. One is consciously I can bring out a person. Let us say I bring out you or Lata or Padma Shri, and then I sleep. It will take a while. It might not happen today itself, but then after a few days, the manifestation happens as a dream sequence wherein their thought process or their ideas become a projector for my screen. So then whatever they had in their mind will manifest. or whatever they have in their mind gets manifest. So when I go back and share this, they will feel that how come this has got manifested. It is that they are projecting it on my screen. That is how consciousness does a magician job. So in this particular case, maybe some years ago or some time ago, how long you been knowing Padma Shri?
I have seen her in Pina, that is in 91 onwards. I think she used to come in the Matador van, if I remember. There was one person called Sudhindra also in my team. They are coming in the same cab, that Matador. I have seen her that time. I remember very well. Very,
Yeah, even I remember.
He will come out of the van and then fast move inside the office. Tuck, 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 tuck.
Yeah. So,
But I don't remember talking to her.
No, that is not required.
No, we have not talked.
Yeah.
We have not talked till you came to IDC. We have not talked.
Yeah.
I have only known about you through Ashok Shanta sir. Little.
Yes, Ashok Shamprasad, correct.
See, whatever it is, so there is a connect. You might not know the person personally or whatever, but there is a connect. And it need not be that you know the detail of that person also. Okay, but by whatever, since there is a connect, there is always a possibility of the screen being used by somebody else to project their ideas on that. That is exactly what has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So now you cannot, we cannot find out why it happened. So that you will never get an answer.
Can you understand who projected that? Someone else projecting, you were saying, no? But who projected that on Bhatt's screen?
It will be you who is projecting on Bhatt's screen. Okay, it can pick up from anywhere, but you will, meaning to say that person will be able to have a vivid experience and then
but that is happening without my awareness. Huh?
Yes.
I have no clue that
it will.
Bhatt is thinking about me, or I am projecting on Bhatt's. Meaning, the consciousness is universal, but me as my mind doesn't know what is projected on till Bhatt says. I don't know what is projected.
Yes. So what it does is like we can have the satellite kind of a communication, right? So you will have at some point in time some idea and that gets projected on the screen. So like you said, now you don't have, but earlier you had. So that is how it actually gets into. And then in some of our conversation, we have also discussed about your home and all that. So that also is there. How much consciously Bhatt has understood that, or it has got into his individual consciousness, that cannot be said. So it will add all of them together. Your idea plus his opinion about you gets added up together and becomes like a movie, which is very good actually. But that is possible. And if you go further, let us say Bhatt were to go further like this, then he can be able to read people's mind.
Okay, one more interesting thing. Just 5 days before, 4 days before, I think, or 5 days. I just got one person in my mind, is my cousin, my Chikkappa's son, elder son. Okay, that house is, Jalsur, my home, right? From their other side. Western side is my home and eastern side is his house. My close family, but I don't have big, discussion, relations or anything with him. I saw him that day. That person is, he's 76 years old. He is coming. He is sitting in, just outside the house, you have Mugamantapa, in that. He was sitting there. And then casually he was happily just relaxing. I saw. Okay, same day evening I got a news. He had, he along with his son went to this that Adike Tota, and then he was picking this Adike, which is falling during the summer time, and then during that time, his son was also there. He was just near another 50 meters away. And this guy is, just he was bent and he is picking that this arcanet. But he is not, even after 2-3 minutes, he is not standing. Then he got a doubt, he came nearby. Then he found that this guy was in the same pose, just like Abdul Kalam, lost everything. A massive heart attack. He lost his life.
Oh,
The same day morning I got, because I'm getting this kind of things and I'm watching this 2 years. It comes somehow, this kind of picture, and I'm able to see that. But it was very happy. See, I didn't felt anything bad. He was relaxing actually. But even when I got this news through my brother, it was a big surprise.
yeah. So,
Why I should get it? Because I never felt that I should get all that. Then why that is happening? I think even earlier also I explained to you sometimes something similar.
yes, the thing is, you see, the mind, it is beyond the mind, beyond the feeling and perception. See, when we say mind, it only feels and perceives. So now you're asking why I should feel this and why I should perceive this. But this is the act from consciousness. So now the question comes, why this happens? It happens due to two reasons. One reason is that in your young age, you might have associated with him in some way or the other, or with their family in some way or the other. And that would have gone into what they call it a subconscious. So when something is bound to happen to that person, the consciousness then is able to pick it up and throw it as like a projection. So you might have seen him in fire asking for help, and then he had died, and then it means that he has reached a very bad end. Okay, in this particular case, you are seeing him in a very pleasing position and he's sitting at your home and chatting, means that he's very happy, meaning his death was the most happiest thing what he experienced. That's what it would mean. But why did you get it is thing like, if you have slight purity of the mind, then these manifestations can happen. That is how consciousness projects. But that doesn't mean that if, let us say in my case, do I get visions like this? Maybe or may not be. So I cannot really promise I'll get it, or I cannot say that I might not get it at all. So this is beyond the mind. Why?
Yeah, that did not happen during dream. It happened in the real. Suddenly you get some thought. No?
Yes.
It was part of that.
But you would have seen it like a dream only. Even while
correct. Something is running like a audio visual.
Yes, all of a sudden you'll see the person. After a few minutes, it will go away.
Yes.
Okay, and then the mind starts to wonder, why did I get this kind of vision? If you had not done that, let's say, it would have told you what is the next thing it is happening with that person.
Mm-hmm.
But our mind is something which comes in between, because it wants to know why this happened, or why am I seeing this person in my, not in dream, can be in dream, or can be like what you're talking about. So you're engrossed in something and suddenly this vision comes. Now you want to know why this vision came, and that will end the consciousness from penetrating. So if you allow the consciousness to manifest completely, then you will get to know why that thing happened. So consciousness is always treated like a magician doing the trick. It tricks. And that is the same Haridasa of Kanakadasa, Ni Mayayolago Ninnolu Mayayo. So that is how this consciousness plays.
Is it subconscious something picks up because it has got much purity than our normal consciousness, or it is only outside of that spirituality?
No, the consciousness is consciousness. Since we don't know how to explain that, we have created subconscious. We have created three states. We have created conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Okay. Conscious experiences are those which are consciously done in our day life. Subconscious experiences are those which happens in like a dream state while even awake or otherwise, meaning these are where the samskaras are stored. The unconscious things are those where vasana are stored. Okay, that is the Srishti, Sthiti and Laya, or we can take Jagrata Avastha, the dream state and deep sleep state, Swapna and Sushupti. So, when I'm in Sushupti state, I don't have access to all the Vasana. So, from the unconscious state, it comes to subconscious state, which is actually dream sequence. That means to say that out of the five senses, two or three senses become active and they create the imagery. So mind ability is to create the images. So you will start to see some images happening while you are doing something else. Let's say you are having breakfast and suddenly some events are taking place in that subconscious mind, what we call as subconscious. Okay, and then it becomes conscious. So if I allow that consciousness to work in conscious, then it will tell me the laya portion of it, which is unconscious, and how it became subconscious, which is it brought itself from the sthiti, and how this got created in the srishti. So you'll get to know, but we are distracted all the time, so we will never get to that. But the creation, sustenance, and destruction will happen. So basically, why this person comes, why that person comes, is already stored in the subconscious mind, whereas all the three are just consciousness. That is the conscious experience and the subconscious experience and unconscious experience. All the three are only consciousness. There's nothing like some dabba of some box of unconscious and subconscious and conscious. Now mind cannot understand, so it is split into three parts. Now if you really see your childhood till date or whatever it is, at some point in time there would be interaction with this family or this person or whatever, through your brother or whatever it is, that would be there, which is first stored in subconscious and then moved into unconscious mind, where the mind becomes unconscious of that event ever happened, which is how ignorance works. Then when something is supposed to happen to that person, because there is already a connection between that person and your unconsciousness, it comes to subconscious. So when it comes to subconsciousness, it is the sight and sound and touch. These three will start to function while you're doing something else. So you will get a vision, which is sight, and you will hear the sound, or you will feel like touching. It's like he's touching, or that person is in your home or something like that, which is touching. The tasting and smelling cannot happen because they require even more deeper impression. That will never happen. So you will have these three impressions. And this then manifests itself as conscious experience. And then you will feel that you are experiencing it. So you would have had a little bit of that experience, it goes away because the mind is distracted. Whereas in the case of Padma Shri's experience, what you explained, there was no thing which was disturbing at that point in time. So it created a complete imagery. So you have now the vision of what Padma Shri would be doing, which tallies with what she would have done earlier. So it has picked up that unconscious impression of Padma Shri, manifested into a subconscious awakening, and then awakened to you as a dream. So this is what the consciousness can do. So in your cousin's case, that unconsciously you are connected, subconsciously something has happened to him which is to be known to you. So the consciousness is able to pick up that, make it into the image, and bring it to the mind door, and mind now makes it conscious or experiences it. Did it answer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That means the conscious is there for all, everywhere, and how well you are connected from your mind to that, your mind will pick up.
Yes.
Or if you drop your mind, through conscious already known to you everything.
Yes, and that is the reason the consciousness knows everything. So it is all pervading, all seeing, all hearing, all touching, all tasting, all sensing, because that is what it is all about.
Mm-hmm.
See, the individual entity is the mind. Okay, the mind has a limited consciousness, so it cannot be aware of everything. So if the individual becomes a universal consciousness, then you will know everything what is happening everywhere, because you become that consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality, nothing else is reality. And that's the reason Jagat is Mithya. So now the question comes, why I only get these? Because you have somehow stilled sometime the mind, so it is able to manifest in that pond.
Yesterday I was practicing a lot in terms of Srishti. Yesterday I watched the video. There it was very clearly mentioning Srishti, you don't have to look anywhere. Srishti is nothing but the sound, and sound which comes out of anybody is Srishti. And that sound has got no meaning. We only, say that this is a word, whatever, I and all that. Then those words, our mind gives some meaning. Actually, there is no meaning to that. It is just Srishti. It is in the form of sound, and enjoy it. I was trying to practice the whole day about that Srishti's, the sound, how it comes out. And I have enjoyed throughout the day. Is there any relationship between this meditation and night dream?
Can be. See, everything is a possibility, but we cannot pinpoint and say this created that. But everything is life itself is a bundle of possibilities. Because consciousness is possibilities. Everything is possible in consciousness. And very few things are possible in the mind, but all the 100% is possible in the consciousness. So when a person goes with a good understanding that nothing is going to happen, and 100% nothing is going to happen, because he has surrendered to the consciousness. So I'll give an example. Okay, now my son got his vaccination done on Saturday or Friday, whenever he got it done. Yeah, it was on Friday. So I was supposed to pick up my son when Lata wanted to have a discussion anyway. So I just, I was supposed to drop him. So he went over there, and then he had an intention from the beginning. He's been saying that if nobody takes vaccination, I will take vaccination. I, as a doctor, cannot say that I will not get vaccinated, because many of the doctors are saying that they don't want to get vaccinated. So there are a lot of discussions and forum and this and that. He has never entertained that, and he has never worried about what is going to happen if he takes the vaccination. Is it good or bad, and what is the effect of that? And there are a lot of reports saying nauseatic, then fever and some rashes and all those things have happened, but it has subsided, but it is happens. And he said that nothing of that is going to happen. So on Friday he had his vaccine, and he was so happy to have his vaccination. So he even said it is good news that I'm getting vaccinated and all that, and he went. And as he predicted, nothing happened, and he didn't even have a pain of that vaccination for the whole day. And after picking him up in the evening, and then I asked him, "Are you now interested in ice cream?" Because that day we were supposed to have an ice cream party. So we went. And he said, "Yeah, I can have ice cream." Then he had ice cream. Normally, he is supposed to get fever. And today is Monday. Nothing has happened. And that's what consciousness can do. It's the mind.
So he was very sure in his consciousness that there is something called vaccination, and it is my duty to take it.
That's all.
And nothing is going to happen.
Yes. So he doesn't attend or discuss like what we three are discussing, or four of us are discussing. And but he still has that, right? So it doesn't matter whether somebody is really spiritual or not spiritual. If that person believes that, like we say, God will take care or something of that sort, and if the person were to be in that fully immersed, surrendered himself to that, definitely nothing is going to happen. He didn't have body ache, he didn't have fever, he doesn't have cold, he doesn't have anything. Even though the virus has been injected into his body, nothing has happened. While some of his friends had fever, they had nauseated, and some people have giddiness and all that. And he did, and then his teacher had told him, "You take paracetamol," and he said, "I don't want to take anything." So that's the power of consciousness.
It is interesting because so many people, even doctors, they said, especially Ayurveda side, for government doctors, there is a coverage from the government, 50 lakhs. And for private doctors, no, if anything happens, then they are responsible. So many people, this time they said that they are not interested for that vaccination. Especially these doctors, Ayurveda doctors.
Yeah, he is also Ayurveda only. So all the students who come to, when I do this class, and these four girls who are attending, they have categorically told that they are not interested in taking any vaccination.
So he is one out of special category, yeah?
Not only that,
no 2 years, no 2 years.
Yeah, and then he is so interested in taking it. It's like, other people are compelled to take. So he is saying that why there should be compulsion? It is our duty to take vaccination. As a doctor, you are supposed to get vaccinated. Simple. What is there to rethink? And he went with that without any worry. So whether he knows Bhagavad Gita or not, but he is able to cut out the mind from consciousness. So that's a difference. So I was very happy when he was explaining to me. I was feeling very happy. Okay, very good. I was looking at the power of consciousness rather than treating him like my son and he has done this and that, feeling proud about it. I was looking at how consciousness can do something which is unimaginable, because the same consciousness is able to make, call it as a bird and fly, and the same consciousness is able to establish itself as a human, and the same consciousness is able to establish itself as a Brahma or a Deva or animal or whatever it is. So it's a consciousness which is doing it. So when any person cuts out the mind from consciousness, it's a consciousness which is going to take care by itself. So what he did was to convince the mind, that is feeling and perception. He perceived that vaccination is good. He made the feeling, that is, perception happens through intellect. So he made the intellect agree in the mind that it is good, and he started feeling good about the vaccine. So the consciousness put light on that, which made it manifested. So when he went for vaccination, he is aware of the fact that he is going to get vaccinated. So he's happy. The state of his mind is happy. So what should be the result? Happiness. Now, if I were to go and if my mind is worried, oh, what is that? It's going to happen. There's something, fear. I have read that fever is going to come. Then some rashes are going to come. It is allergic reaction. And then I have to take paracetamol. I have to sleep for a few hours after the vaccination and all of that. So these ripples are there in the mind. So now the consciousness makes that experience possible. So when I sit in front of the doctor is now putting the injection. I have a doubt whether this vaccine is going to work for me or not. So the moment the mind comes in between, that working also will not happen, because it brings in fear. And fear is the most negative energy anybody can have. So it cuts the consciousness from itself. So now the mind is on its own, trying to figure out what to do. So consciousness makes that fear real. So now what happens is, when I come home, I feel feverish. So this son of mine never felt feverish, but I am certainly going to feel feverish because fever is there in my mind. So it manifests. So consciousness' job is to manifest whatever is there as an impression. So now that manifests. So then I fear the fever. So then it goes to 100 degrees. Then I read on internet that many people who took vaccine got fever. So it makes me feel unhappy that why did I volunteer for taking this damn medicine? Then I say that whoever did not take it did a good job. So this law of attraction of negativity will start. So the consciousness keeps on this manifestation of whatever is projected happen. So then I get rashes. All that what is written keeps on happening. So this is what, even though I might be teaching Bhagavad Gita or talking about it, but if I really don't implement that, it is of no use. Whereas this guy, he keeps on hearing that I'm talking like this. He never worried. He went there. He was very happy that he's getting vaccinated. He came back very happily. And nothing has happened.
Actually, he's like a Vairagi now, because I remember one sloka study high school. Bhoge rogavayam kule chitibhayam kaye kritantat bhayam. I don't remember the next line. Finally, it says Vairagya meva bhayam. That means Vairagya is the only thing, you don't have bhaya for anything.
Correct.
Because you are not connected with the either body or mind or wealth, anything, because you don't lose anything. You are Vairagya already.
Correct.
Is that kind of mind made him to accept that this is fine and I will not have any issues?
Yeah, he would have been like that in his thinking, because from day one he is so happy that this vaccine has come. And he was saying that when there was a lot of discussion in MS Ramaya and other hospitals, even the hospital doctor, renowned doctors are saying that they don't want to get vaccinated. He was saying that what kind of doctors are these people? If they are supposed to serve the society, they have to be the first people to take the vaccine to show that nothing is going to happen. Instead of that, they are saying that it is not good to take vaccination and all of that, except for Devi Shetty, who was saying that it is good to get vaccinated. Many doctors, they don't want to get vaccinated. And not only that, they are saying that you should not get vaccinated. So if you don't take vaccination is okay, but on the reverse side, they're saying that it's not good to take vaccination. Now there are people who read that and then their mind is already corrupted to feel that they should not get vaccinated. Right. So now in Loka, you have only two things which happen. Either you like something or you dislike something. So when there is, when I want to protect myself as in the body, then I should then think whether vaccination is good or bad. Whereas in this person's case, I've been observing that he says it is our duty to take vaccination. He's not saying that it is good for me to take vaccination. So there is a huge difference between how a person would look at it and how he is doing it. So it's very nice actually. Because he says that I am going to serve other people. And if I am supposed to vaccinate another person, then I should be the first person to get vaccinated. Which is right. So he's not bothering about his own life and all that, which is the way of spiritual living. That's good. So whatever we think gets manifested. We didn't allow Padma Shri to share her experience. I think we still have 7 minutes left. Padma Shri, the Friday we shared our experiences of 2.5 years. What is the state we are in? Because this question Lata had, I mean, she was contemplating and she was seeing that how we have changed each other and how we have come and all that. And on that day you were not there, so it will be good to hear from you.
Yeah. The first thing is that this has been a real good association. For me, a person who has not been spending a lot of time on reading or anything like that, I think a lot, but then there is no, I have not spent too much time on reading. And the certain things that I know are certain things which have come for me from very from the childhood, because when my mother used to be there, we used to talk a lot. My mother used to tell a lot of stories. So from there, we have picked up a lot of things, and it has also allowed me to think. It has pushed me into thinking. But till the time we started this session together, meaning I joined the session along with the others, I was not spending, I was in a 24-hour day, I was not spending any time for any of such activities. So for me, it is a great change in my routines to even have these kinds of things fall into my ears. Because one thing I know very clearly, but also reads a lot, Lata is a voracious reader, and Vilas, you also have read a lot and you still read a lot. So for me, who is not doing that, I feel I am just like a receptacle of all the things which you people are reading and you are discussing. So for me, it is a great journey that I have had to help me in my thought process. So I'm still doing only the same thing. I'm only thinking, but then I'm only listening and thinking. So it helps me. My mother not being there now is replaced by three of you is what I feel. Meaning those kinds of things, the thought process, something telling about something, instigating the thought in my mind. I feel this journey has been very good. And from an individual perspective, I feel to a large extent, I don't give importance to so many things which I used to give importance earlier. But there are still certain things which I feel I have to change. I have not changed. Expecting some kind of a perfection in everything that is around me, and then trying to reach that perfection. That something is not something which I have been able to get over it. But meaning I don't leave it to it is what it is and leave it there. I feel what can I do to change this situation. So that still that I is there and I want to change is there and all these things are there. So that is something which I am not able to get over. But there is a lot of difference in the way I think about the situations and how it is affecting me, whether it is really affecting me or meaning with respect to people, I have been a little bit, meaning I don't feel very great attachment to anything, any items or anything. So I don't feel that kind of attachment. So that is the change that has been there for the last 3 years.
Good night.
And I feel that is also one of the reasons how I behave as a mother-in-law. Meaning, I am not a regular. I feel I am not, but you should ask my daughter-in-law to find that. I feel I am not belonging to that regular slot of a mother-in-law, which generally we read and we have an opinion about. I don't fit into that slot. I always feel that everybody has the same. We are living together, but still we don't have any great pressure for performance from either one of us.
Okay.
So I think that's all coming from the from this association and the thoughts that are coming from this association.
Okay, very nice. So Friday we spent some good amount of time on that, and you concluded in hardly 4 minutes. So you have still 3 more minutes left.
No, I don't know. When you ask me certain questions like this, it's so very difficult to put all my thoughts together. I've told this to you earlier. So it's very, I am not able to do it so easily like that.
Okay. We will go with what you say. So today we could not start on the 12th chapter. So therefore tomorrow we will then begin. Tomorrow let us take off. Anyway, it is holiday.
Yeah.
And we will meet on Wednesday. So we'll start on
Wednesday.
So shall we end if we don't have anything?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Vilas.
Yeah, thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.